Hi, Louise here from Boost Talk. And I tell you what, you really know that you're having an engaged and exciting conversation when you and your guest both start removing personal items of clothing. And that is exactly what happened today when I was in conversation with image consultant Ann Whitaker. It's a fabulous conversation. Anne takes it one step further because I talk about women enhancing their impact in the workplace, holding agency with themselves, their voice, their confidence, their future. Anne takes that next step and talks about impact through appearance. It's a really interesting conversation. I know you'll enjoy it. Like, comment, head on over to boostyourcareer.com.au for all we have to offer. Well, hello everyone, Louise here and welcome to another Boost Talk. Today I am in conversation with Ann Whitaker, who's an image consultant at Ann Whitaker Style. And we're talking today about stepping confidently into your future. Welcome, Ann.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Oh, it's lovely to have you here. I know on first glance, it would seem as if we are on completely different paths. And why Anne and an image consultant on Boost Talk? I know that it will all become clear as we move through our conversation. Anne and I had a fabulous catch up a few weeks ago to decide where our synergies lie. And we came away from that realizing that they are entwined.
Completely and utterly.
So before we let people know all about that, I'd really love you to share more about your rather remarkable career move. So from managing petroleum supplies to Zanzibar Islands in Tanzania to helping women look and feel great with colour and image and skincare and beauty solutions. It's a remarkable move. What caused this dramatic shift?
Personal experience, basically. So before I start, I just want to say this is my studio. It's not a random bedroom. So this is my colour and image studio. It's personal experience. So having my own colour and image done changed my life. It is that simple. And what basically had happened was I'd worked for this company for 7 years. I'd actually done lots of things. And that was my thing at the time. I was government liaison and basically running the show over there. And I burnt myself out. So, yeah, in a big way. I ended up very, very sick. And somehow took a break, but ended up in the London office. Yeah, as you do when you're that person that burns yourself out. Yeah, I couldn't actually say no to anyone. And somehow, while taking a break, I ended up doing accounts in the London office. It was like, okay. Which I'm sure probably some people can relate to, because unfortunately it's that problem that a lot of women have, that we just take on too much, and we don't prioritize ourselves or our health.
No, anyway, and we don't say no, as you just said.
We don't say no.
Bad at that.
Yeah. I managed once. I said, look, I've got to take a break. I'm that ill. And somehow then I didn't manage it the second time. I was like, yeah. Anyway, so I was in the London office, and I used to go in probably about once a year, every 18 months. So I kind of knew the people in the office, and I've been there for about 2 weeks. It was England. It was winter. It was cold. It was wet. It was miserable. Everyone was wearing black. And one of our ladies walked in wearing a bright red dress suit, and she was a normal 40-something-year-old lady. She wasn't like some skinny mini 20-year-old supermodel, and she looked amazing. And she did not look amazing the 2 weeks before.
Okay.
Yeah. So about 5 of us literally ran over going, what did you do? Because clearly she'd done something. She did not look that good the week before. And she had her colours and image done. And I always say this to my clients, and I love to stress this, because she was kind enough to give us a number. And she didn't have to, she could have said, oh, I felt like a change. But because she'd had a great experience, she shared it on, she referred it, she spoke about it. And by doing that, she changed my life completely. But she's also changed thousands of other people's lives, because I've been doing this for 16 years.
Right.
And it's just that case of just, here's a phone number. That's all she did.
Wow.
And
It's
So yeah, so
remarkable. Remarkable. You just don't know the impact you have on
yeah,
people. And I loved some of the comments that you made then, the bit about the networking's important, the bit about sharing's important. And
yeah,
women are pretty good at that. That's an innate strength that we have.
yeah, it
So
is.
I love it. Must have been it can't have been you just then the next day became an image consultant.
Yeah,
So what sort of a journey did you go on? What does it take to end up
yeah,
16 years as one?
yeah. So I went and booked in. In fact, 5 of us booked in that morning. So I booked in,
Wow.
had my own, yeah. So it was that impactful. I had my own colours done first, and I was doing it completely wrong. All the shades of colours that I liked and I was wearing didn't do anything for me. They made me look sick, made me look sicker because I was still sick,
Wow.
sicker and tired and drawn and just icky. And the colours she showed me, which were colours I was not wearing, and I didn't particularly like, to be honest, loved me. And I
Wow.
looked amazing in them. And I could see the visible change in the mirror. So, so it wasn't just a magic, oh, this suits you. She actually showed and demonstrated. So I adopted it. And then I did style very quickly again with her, because obviously I was now realized I
Yeah.
might not be getting things as right as well. I didn't actually think I was getting things right. I was always uncertain about my appearance. I never felt confident. Shopping was a nightmare. And I used to have to shop for a year, 18 months at a time, because I lived in Tanzania.
Oh, of
I lived on a
course.
small island off Africa. We didn't have shops, or
Yeah.
not, not very many shops. So it was an
Wow.
incredible stressful thing with shopping, and I know a lot of women struggle with that. It's something they find really difficult. So I can relate to that. And by knowing what suited me, all of a sudden all that became easier. So I could walk in a shop and go, "Well, you're not going to work, and you're not going to work, and oh, look at you! I'll let me try that on."
So
So literally changed my life.
it is. I'm still gobsmacked. I was gobsmacked the first time I heard this story from you, and it still resonates really strongly with me. I talk about conscious choice and intentional
Yeah,
impact in Boost Your Career, and I think the biggest synergy that I see between what you do and what I do is that we are both looking at women and asking the question, how can we consciously and intentionally increase the impact that you're
yeah,
having with other people? Is that how
yeah,
you see what you
yeah,
do?
totally, totally. It's when you, to me, when you're going shopping, once you've had your colour and your style done, you're going with information. I always describe it to my clients as I was given a set of guidelines,
Yeah,
not rules, guidelines, because I can choose what I do with those guidelines.
yeah,
And if I follow those guidelines, it basically, it almost eliminates choice. It's like, there's no point in me looking at that stuff because it's not
it
going to
won't
work.
work. Yeah,
If I look at this stuff, I look good. And if you know you look good, you feel good and you're confident and you radiate it, and compliments come in and opportunities come in because you're more confident, you're more visible, because you feel great. So
yeah.
yeah, it helps take away the clutter.
Oh, what a lovely way to put that. No, that's
Yeah.
fantastic. It takes away all of that noise, all of that clutter, and allows you to be clear around where you fit and the impact that you want to
Yeah,
have. So conscious choice and being
conscious choice.
intentional
Yeah,
becomes part of the process. I
yeah.
love that. Is that
And
why women come to you? Is there a commonality of why women come to you, or is it all over the place?
it can be all over the place. A lot of times it is because they don't like shopping. A
Right.
lot of
Okay.
times, most of my clients are 35 plus, often in their 50s.
Yeah.
And they're kind of looking in the mirror and going, what happened?
Yeah.
Because when we're young, we will put more makeup on. We've got better skin. We're younger. We're fresher. All that stuff. And we've also generally got more time when we're young. You think before marriage, kids, a serious career, all that stuff.
Yes.
We've got time. You think about it. I've got now she's now 26, but when she was a 19-year-old, she could spend time getting ready to go out and all that. My ladies are like, how can I do this quickly and easily and simply and look good?
Yep, and be out the door.
and be out the door and know I'm put together and know I'm making the right first impression.
Yeah.
And it's easy. And some people really want to really capture wardrobe, keeping it really small and simple. And when people have had their colors done, things flow easier.
Okay.
Other people love clothing. I love clothing. My wardrobe is not a capsule wardrobe. I love clothing. But again, it's giving the person the choice, but it's giving them a direction when they go.
Yeah. So it's not just color then, it's obviously shape that you.
So pattern, style. So when people work with me, they can choose to just do color, just do color, which is color, knowing how to wear all of those, hair color, makeup colors, jewelry colors,
Right, so it's a
all
full
of that.
package.
Yeah. Or they can do the style, the color, and the style, which is the patterns and the clothing shapes and the fabrics and all that. Obviously, I do bra fitting. I've got bras here. You know, it's all that. I work with skincare. It's a whole package of solutions at work. And when you put it all together, you have impact.
So what do you see as the biggest takeaways for women? Well, obviously it's changing their lives. What,
Yeah, totally.
what are you seeing? What are some really good lived experience stories that you have around how people have been very positively impacted by this experience?
So there's so many. I had a client come up to me last year at Mind Body Spirit Festival, and she's like, "I saw you 10 years ago, I think it was."
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And she said, you know, in those days she was actually working in government, and she's now quit that. She's actually taken long service leave. She did it very cleverly, but she's quit that and she's training to be an interior designer because she suddenly got that confidence in herself, but she also saw possibility. She saw I
Wow.
could do that. I had another lady that actually moved house after working with me
Huh.
because she realized what had happened was she'd bought into the market where she could afford and that was close to work. And before she bought in, she did that. She was kind of quite flamboyantly dressed and loving life. And she moved to a lower social economic area that nobody dressed up
Right.
because the house was affordable and it was near work.
Yep.
And then when she came to see me, she's like, "Oh my God, I've lost myself. Oh my gosh." So in the whole process of rediscovering herself, she was like, "I don't actually want to be here.
Wow.
I like where I lived before, and I'm actually happier to commute
Yeah.
than do that." So it can be really, and obviously people get jobs, they find partners, they get promoted. One of the things, and we spoke about this before, is particularly my ladies that are, 40 plus after COVID, a lot of people have settled into that real smart casual, not making as much effort, not wearing heels, not
That's
wearing much
true.
makeup.
Yeah, it's true.
It's really common.
Yeah.
It's really common. And they're being overlooked. And they know they're being overlooked, but they don't know
Don't know
why.
why. Okay.
And though, we should all be able to be exactly how we want. And if we want to have no makeup on, it shouldn't matter. And if we want to wear flat shoes and wear something that's big and baggy, it shouldn't matter. But unfortunately, it does.
It
And
does.
particularly if we're competing again in a male world.
And it does because it's about impact, and the impact that you're having isn't as powerful
Become
as it
invisible.
could or should be. The word you used there, though, and I love all those stories, by the way, they're fabulous stories, and you should be so proud of where you support people in their
My
journey.
clients like the stories I get afterwards are what lights me up. I
Yeah,
love what I do. When I hear the impact it's had, it's like,
exactly. But
it's had it
opportunity.
for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, exactly. But opportunity was the word that you used then. And I thought that's exactly right. I talk about growth is about challenging yourself and taking the opportunities, and it will lead to more opportunities. The fact that people can change their lives, change their careers, is remarkable when we're literally talking about clothing.
Yeah.
But I was also thinking about it's an interesting twist on the whole confidence booster, because I talk about confidence and energy in the same sentence. And that's what I was also hearing that undercurrent when you were talking, that when I'm looking my best, and I talk about best self all the time. So when I'm looking my best self, I'm incredibly confident, which boosts my energy.
Yeah.
It creates impact. Is that your experience too?
Totally. When people are in their colours and their style, they radiate. But
Yeah.
they also know it. That's the thing. They know it. They know they look good.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be expensive. It's about just knowing what works for you.
For you.
Because what works for you probably won't work for me. We're different people.
Yeah.
So we still have to have our individuality. But it's also about, like I think you said before, conscious choice. So most people, when they get ready in the morning, they don't put a lot of thought into it. So when they buy things,
it's in my wardrobe.
Well, they buy things, first of all, because it's available, it fits.
Yeah.
They might like it. Depends how little time they're spending shopping. Normally it's available, it fits, and maybe it's affordable. You know, a lot of people were coming up to Boxing Day. Well, when we're recording, we're coming up to Boxing Day sales. There's going to be a whole load of people buying things because it's cheap.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a bargain. It's only a bargain if you wear it. What I do is teach people to be, it's literally, it's not about
I love it.
You don't get use out of it. I teach people to be intentional even when they're getting dressed. You know, who are you meeting? Where are you meeting? What are you meeting? What are you meeting? What are you doing? And actually thinking about the impact they want to have that day. Not just going, oh, it's clean, it's comfortable. It'll do.
That'll do. And obviously
it doesn't have to be hard.
work. Yeah. But we know that when we're looking to promote, when we're looking to enhance, or even, you know, look at boosting the work that we're doing or the levels of work that we're engaged in, that requires an engagement with people to demonstrate your ability. Well, it makes sense that how I look when I'm having that conversation is also part of that, because that's what I'm projecting. Yeah.
I mean, if somebody's a detailed person, somebody say in the finance sector, and they turn up and they're sloppily dressed, their hair's bad, not been washed for a couple of days, or you know, it looks a mess. The fingernail polish is chipped. They don't look detailed. The overall look about them. And as women, we have handbags, and quite often they're overspilling with things, and we generally carry water bottles and maybe coffee cups, and there's this whole cluttery, it's not detailed, it's not sleek, it's not professional, it's but it was just grabbing things because there's no thought. And it's okay, nobody will notice those things, but the overall picture is that they do. And we never, and one point on that is we never know when we're going to make a first impression.
No, I love that.
No idea.
So true. No, you don't. You think about the woman handing you a card. That was a huge impression. Her turning up, giving you the card, completely changed the course of your life. And you don't know on a daily basis, particularly women who are in the workplace, not working from home, but in the workplace. I mean, that's a daily opportunity to have an impact on your own career, on the future of your career, on the relationships that you're building within an organisation. It's terribly important, isn't it?
You don't know who's in the lift with you. You don't know who's gone to the toilet at the same time as you. You don't know who's in the coffee shop round the corner on the train with you. You don't know if that's the new boss, the head of a different department that's looking for something. You know, we literally don't know when we're going to make a first impression. One of the things my clients often things are said to them when they first start doing it, and I talk about consistency and maintaining the thing, but people will often go, are you going for an interview today? You got a date today? You know, what are you doing? You're a bit smart. Because you weren't before.
It's and yet all I have to do is to be consistent around that new image, and the old one gets forgotten very quickly because I'm presenting as something very different. It's it's a remarkable cycle, and I think you're right. I think COVID has played a huge part in our attitude towards
Yeah.
dress and conscious choice around image and impact. And that's something we're all going to have to come to grips with, of course.
Yeah, yeah. And it wasn't great before, but COVID has been quite disastrous in that way for a lot of
Yeah,
people.
I agree. Yeah, no, I completely understand. You spend that amount of time pantless, as we know the
Yeah.
story goes. It's an effort then to move in back into that corporate
Yeah.
mode. I sort of stalked you on LinkedIn.
Okay, cool.
And I'll quote a bit of your philosophy. I educate busy professionals on their personal branding to improve their professional and personal visibility and impact, which
Yeah.
is exactly what we were talking about. And if I
Yeah.
take that one step further, I know that you talk about authority dressing
Yeah.
to deliver control over the impression that you create.
Yeah.
Is this something women, particularly new players, should be aware of? And are there any tips or tricks that you'd like to share with people?
So I quite often do, and if people follow me, I don't know if it's on LinkedIn at the moment, but I'm just about to launch a business course, but it'll definitely be in that, but definitely on my socials.
Right.
We talk about impact and what we're wearing. And you think about a man in a workplace has always got collar,
Yep.
sometimes got a jacket, sometimes got a tie, obviously depending on, and you can kind of almost see that progression of hierarchy very easily.
Yep.
As women, we're not doing any of that stuff. So we're often sort of, if I take my jacket off, do you see I've kind of got a lot more casual, a lot
Yep.
because I'm quite fleshy.
Yep.
I'm showing flesh. I've got no structure here. I've got a little necklace. If I took my necklace off, I'm looking at you. If we took away your glasses and your earrings, you'd look very bare.
I'm doing it. Ugh.
Yeah, because yours are a bit more statement. It's probably more obvious. You see how that massive amount of impact you've just lost like that?
Yeah, I feel like I have.
Yeah.
It actually feels different. It creates a different feel, and therefore it creates a different me in front of people.
Yeah, and you have quite statement glasses. That's one of your things.
It
Just
is.
put my jacket on as well. But it doesn't have to be that statementy, but that little bit of adding earrings in. Mine aren't big earrings.
No,
That's why I want you to do it, because you're more obviously a statement thing.
love my earrings, but also
Yeah.
with yours, they're very visible though, and they play off the necklace that you have.
Yeah. So I've got a necklace. I've got a bracelet on. Oh, I've actually got an Apple Watch on today. So
Which is authority dressing, because you just likened it to men and suits and what do they use as accessories? The watch, the shoes, the tie, or the pocket, whatever.
Yeah, possibly cufflinks.
I forgot cufflinks. Yeah, cufflinks. And women don't, I agree, women don't have that hierarchy of dress or way of creating that authority dress.
Yeah.
Do you think
so those little things can make a massive difference?
Well, yeah. So I moved from Melbourne to Brisbane, for example.
Yeah.
And when I made that move, I literally got rid of all my suits when I came to Brisbane. And the reason for that was A, weather, but B, it was a different corporate environment that I found myself in. And I have to say, it is much more difficult to find the right image in that corporate setting without a jacket of some sort. Yeah, so I now have a lot of jackets back in my wardrobe because I felt I just can't find that.
They're wearing it.
Look. Yeah.
The men are wearing that
Always,
stuff.
yeah.
And they haven't changed since COVID. They have basically gone back pretty much exactly what they were wearing.
Yes,
maybe a size larger, but the same principle. Whereas women have gone, don't need the heels. Who wants to do makeup? Oh, I go a bit baggy. I don't need a jacket. Oh, don't be bothered.
Yeah. Yeah.
All this thing is, it's making an impact.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's making an impact. And I'd love to say that it wasn't, but I'm I'm hearing it all the
But
time.
it does. But
Yeah.
it does. The difference, I think, that I've noticed for me is finding a jacket that isn't obviously a suit and
Yeah.
that is a bit more relaxed, and yet it gives the
Yeah.
same feeling. Yeah.
So we're really lucky with that in a way, because men literally have jackets and sports coats and
Yeah, they've got it
blazers,
all
and
the
that's
time.
it. Yeah, but they don't have a lot of variety. We can do a cardigan, we can do a bolero, we can do a jacket in a color, we can do a softer fabric jacket.
Yeah.
We actually have a lot more ways to play with it.
Yeah.
And still individuality. You know,
Yes.
color is becoming a really available thing. It's becoming a norm.
It's good, isn't
Obviously,
it?
industry specific, but you know, you now find suits in colors.
Yeah,
If you think
exactly.
about 10 years ago, you didn't.
No, well, you wouldn't at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot in what we've been talking about. There's a lot here around personal accountability, around
Yeah.
conscious choice and intentional impact, and getting back to a state where every morning when I get dressed, I have a think around, what am I doing today? Who am I meeting today? Where's the impact for me?
Yeah.
Because it's also part of your networking, but B, the sustainable relationships that we all need when we're working, when we're in business. Yeah.
And it's also trying to find that brand you know.
Yeah.
I think, what do you look like? And that's what I say, we're different people. Our brand would be different, and it should be.
Yeah.
So still need to, you know, have that individuality.
Yes.
But what I offer people is a framework to find their own individuality.
Yeah, exactly. And to get rid of the clutter. I love that.
Yeah.
Get rid of the noise and the clutter.
I used to own everything. You know, before I had my colours done, I owned colours that clearly didn't suit me. I owned lots of black and white, and black and white doesn't suit me. I owned zigzags, and I owned florals, and I owned floaty, chiffony things, and I owned, you know, real corporate stuff.
Yeah.
I never actually knew what I should be wearing or how I should be wearing it, or if it actually did anything for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well,
now
somebody
you do.
that does.
Yeah.
That does. Yeah. I
Now
followed that.
deliberate. You're deliberate around things, but it doesn't mean that you're not creative in that same sphere. No. And this is a huge topic.
Massive.
It is a massive topic, and I had no idea. My initial conversation with Anne, we were put together by a mutual friend, and to find that common ground and to realize there was so much synergy around working on yourself, on your own image, the way that you engage, your behaviors. Also, there's something about your external image. So I highly recommend that people stalk you on your socials.
And that's why we do socials. Ultimately, we do socials to be stalked.
Because there's a lot to be learnt. And I thank you so much for your time today. What about one final tip before you go?
It's not really image related, but I think it's very related to you. We have the ability to change our mindset every single second.
Yeah.
We literally can choose how we feel about something, what we do. We can change our life second by second.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's about being intentional. I suppose it does relate to image. And a good example is if we're even in work, but if we're out networking, you know, we're having a bad day, everything's gone wrong, and we kind of go, oh, I'm here, yeah, I made it. As opposed to, I'm here, I can have a great day. Here I am. I'm not going to let that bug me. I'm just, you know, some things that happened at home, I'm not going to let that bug me. I'm just going to do this.
Fantastic.
So we have that ability to change, whether it's what you're wearing or the way you express yourself or your facial expression. We can put a smile on our face.
Yeah.
Whether we feel it or not, we can do it.
Exactly. A huge thank you to image consultant Ann Whitaker from Ann Whitaker Style. Feel free to chase her and stalk her on socials. And thank you so much. Will you come back at some point?
Of course.
Lovely.
Thanks, me.
Thanks for joining me today, Anne. It was a pleasure.
All right. Take care. Thank you for having me.
Hello, Louise Phelan here, and you've been listening to yet another Boost Talk, and I know you loved it. These women are being so generous with their time and their experience and their expertise, and it's great to have their perspective on their career enhancement strategies for women in this post-pandemic hybrid workplace that we find ourselves in. So for more information, head on over to our website, boostyourcareer.com.au, and I'll see you there.